After that, and then North Melbourne and West Coast and Port Adelaide. They've got some big weeks coming up. They'll want to salvage something from what's been a big wreck tonight, won't they?
Certainly. Start of the final term, margin 69 points. Floats back in the direction of Sandilands, backhands it down, quick thinking by Mitchell. He's up to 28 positions. Make that, or rather 29. Make that the guy who's been on fire from the start, just burning a little hotter in that third term and starting this one in similar vein. Well done by Mundy. Johnson. And now Neil on the outer side, kicks it up towards the wing to a contest though. Worked out of it Giray. Walters in trouble, kept his head, feeds it back to Mzungu. Back to Neil.
So Neil off a step, Pavlich and Gibson. Good battle, well played Gibson. Cheney, who's been on Pavlich for a bit. Clever kick, Cheney. So Mitchell, with that disposal, that's the 83rd time he's had 30 plus in a match. Now Johnson. A bounce, trying to find a way through. Neil keeps it low. Not a great kick. Spanger coughs it up. Pearce off a step. Touch play on, so Burgoyne to Cheney.
He'll get it again here, Mitchell.
Birchall. Hill, his run and carry's been so impressive again tonight. He floats over the ground, doesn't he? Puopolo. Poppy's not a floater, but geez, crash and bang, and now Bruce, who's kicked three. And then on the left foot, caresses it to Smith. Yep, those New South Wales boys, eh? He's got three. A bit of chin wagging there.
Just like the Wagga Tigers in the old days, when those two just kicking to each other.
Did you like that halftime story?
That was very good. That's great. Fun.
What a clever kick by Bruce.
He had the short out before. He's a smart player. He always looks like he knows where to go, where to run into space. I mean, you always underestimate the work rate it takes to get into space continually to find that freedom.
He's the smartest Bruce I know.
Always looks like he's thinking, Luke Bruce, and has a head on a swivel, and I guess when you're that far up you can probably afford to look after your mates.
Hawthorn by 75 points. That's a good bounce. Run down by Hale. Great to see him back. This is Mundy. Sends it inside the forward 50. Giray up. In front was Burgoyne. Runs behind his Spanger. Just hits it towards the 50 in hope. Well played by Shields. And he carries it across the line. Interesting. He's still interested, but I think he's lost his fervour tonight, Ross Lyon. But I was going to make the point about Josh Gibson. He's played every minute again tonight. Nobody else on the ground has done that. And starting the night, he'd played 98% of game time for the season. It's quite remarkable because he does run off too, doesn't he, Lee? I mean, he pushes up, he's prepared to work. But clearly they want to leave him on the ground. There he is. Another man from North Melbourne that made good with the Hawks. Not that he wasn't good in his time with North. Hooked down by Lewis, taken by Pearce. Sutcliffe to Mundy. Hooks it inside the forward 50. Lunging at it was Hill. Over the football, Mzungu. Well played, Burgoyne. And again by Mitchell. Quick hands. Gibson under pressure. Birchall. That's better from Fremantle. Mitchell.
He's kicked it.
With the umpire.
He's kicked it. He's kicked.
So back to Mitchell, eh?
Just been watching Sam Mitchell since the start of this quarter. Look, Nick Subin went to him at the stoppage, but then since then he's just been able to run around without anyone within a 20-metre radius of him.
You think if they play free in a final that won't happen, don't you?
No, certainly won't. Crowley will go there, but still it's an opportunity for another Fremantle player to take the task on. I mean, he's just a prolific ball winner. He'll at least teach you where to go.
I thought Hale was going to just almost hurt his shoulder there. Sandilands forward. Pavlich launches himself. Good give to Mzungu. Out to Pearce. Pearce on the left. Lovely looking kick. It's a goal. Well, it means nothing, but I wonder why he didn't have that shot in the third quarter. I know it was a standing start from about 40 metres out. But again, Pavlich important there. I mean, he split the pack. Good finish. Good finish.
Has been their shining light, Pavlich. That's the one position on the ground where they've looked dangerous. Everywhere else they've just been well beaten.
Yeah, he's done well, Pav, hasn't he?
Yes, like a beacon up forward tonight. Against quality opposition and surrounded by quality players in the opposition. Knocked down by Sandilands, taken by Lewis. He's had a good night too as he kicks towards half forward. Duffield had to wait, did nicely when he landed. As Pearce, he got that last goal running through midfield and he slipped over. Well, actually it helped him because Hawthorn kept running, so he kicks inside the forward 50. Pav again, hands to it, couldn't hang on. Roving the pack, Ballantyne taken down by Burgoyne, comes back to the Pav who tracked it well and cleverly kicks it around the corner and finds May.
Something I suspect just the last minute or two of play, Silverioli's gone back, almost playing as a seventh defender, but I think the Hawthorn are like that. He use him back there a little bit. Try and have a bit of variation in this game if things aren't working up the other end.
Burgoyne obviously injuring a hand or thumb right there. Coming off 30 possessions last week, Burgoyne, best as a Hawk, his career high 37 against Fremantle, round 21 2010. And there's the kick from Main and he puts it through. So a bit of a rally late by the Dockers. Again, the Pav, that was a great trap, wasn't it? Quite outstanding. Stopped it with one hand, stopped it dead, and then the presence of Main just to hook it around the corner, and he found Main.
And funnily enough, then that was the sort of play that they were missing from one of their key midfielders, able to extract the ball from a contest, get it out into space. He really is the complete package, Matthew Pavlich. You're right, Bruce. He was the prototype footballer.
Had some ordinary bounces tonight, haven't we? Let's see how this one goes in the centre square. So 115 to 52. So that one's a good one. Now Pavlich has been terrific. So first time they've had consecutive goals tonight. Mundy's got a bit of the ball in the last quarter. As Freo have started to make a little bit of an impression on the board. They must have seen that stat about Ross Lyon's worst loss. Rioli, as Lee said, off half back for a bit to Suckling. Spanger has to wait. He's brave, Spanger. I feel like he's a good player. Waiting to happen, Spanger. I know he's getting on. Hale. Gunston wide. Now he's a smart footballer, Gunston. Looks up, wants Ruffy. Set him a task. Ball at the back. And Spurr just beat Bruce to it. And over the line.
Wasn't such a smart decision to drop the ball on Sandler's head. That makes it hard for you key forward to reach up that high.
Duffield to bring it in then. Still 15 minutes to go. Goes short to McFarlane. Swings it out wide. A couple of Dockers here. De Boer lets it fly onto Hill, using his body to keep Hale out. So Hill goes down towards half forward. Spanger again dropped the mark that time. Just trying to find a place for him in the team, Bruce and and he dropped the mark. I think it was against Sydney, really late in the season we saw him, and he still couldn't hold his place. He played really well.
No, he can play, but he's only averaged 6 games through his career at the season, so not much continuity.
No, he's a willing worker, though, that's for sure. This ball squirts wide of the pack. Suckling misses everything. Goes after it again with Zungu. Onto the loose ball, can kick a goal here, but he misses.
He's almost been player 25 at every club he's been, and he's actually been at clubs when they've been contenders, West Coast, Sydney, and now
Very
Hawthorn.
true. He's been to good clubs, hasn't he?
He has been, yeah.
He'd get a game with Melbourne right now, wouldn't he?
It's a handy player to have to sort of supplement whatever area where you're lacking a little bit of height.
Yep.
Simkin. Puopolo. And here we go. Cyril with 1. Cyril with 2. Cyril with nothing in the end. Wow. I just got really excited. I just felt like something big was going to happen. I looked at Wayne and I thought, oh, it took me back to when Carey was killing them. And what years were they, Wayne? I can't remember.
1990 to about 2003, I think it was, Wayne. Thanks, Lee.
Boundary throw in. Knocked down by Johnson. Fox is his own ball, but the kick will be marked inside the 50 by Suckling.
Would it be too cruel to say kick that like a defender, Cyril?
Well, he's been back there for a minute.
I thought the build-up was a bit low-key. I think he felt it out there on the ground, the sort of empathy he has with you.
Don't worry, Dan. I had a big one coming if he kicked a goal.
look how Suckling takes this. He doesn't run straight. He'll take the step out to his left base and just hook the ball across his body, but he just times it beautifully, even though he's got to get that right ball drop.
Suckling's been good. To get the distance, it's a question of accuracy, and this one is through. He's almost automatic. He is a terrific kick of the footy. I wonder whether the NFL beckons at the end of his career. What do you think?
Well, he certainly times. He doesn't necessarily have the massive lever that you see the NFL punters have, but as we heard from the boys at half-time, he's been doing that since he was 11 years old.
With a different hairstyle, eh?
It's just the swing of the leg, isn't it? He doesn't run in quickly. Let's have a good look at this. He just kicks across his body, but he makes beautiful contact, doesn't he?
I'll tell you what he is. If you're playing fantasy footy, he's fantasy gold at the moment. He's cheap because he didn't play much last year, and he started the season on fire.
Isn't it great when your half-backers can do that? I mean, Birchall can do it too. I mean, Mundy going forward, as I said, getting a lot of the ball. Crozier, good mark. Mundy quiet first 3 quarters. Matthew, what have you got for us?
Yeah, well, the sub's been made for the Hawks. Spanger out and Litherland in, and I reckon that Walters has gone for the night. He's got ice on his foot as we speak. So they're down 1 rotation now, the Dockers.
What's your call on this, Richard? How much does a defeat like this linger for a club like the Dockers, do you reckon?
Well, I'm not too sure. It's just such one that we weren't expecting. I have never seen Fremantle in the last few years put that little pressure on that we've seen tonight. There's not one passage of play where I can really remember Hawthorn being under the pump with just constant numbers coming at them like Fremantle have done over the last few years. So I'd almost wait and see what the reaction is next week. I reckon it's just an anomaly for me.
So they've got the Bombers next week.
Don't go forward.
It'll be a good game. Birchall. One is going well. In the last couple of seasons, they've travelled pretty well too, haven't they? Boundary throw in. 122 to 53. Of course, the Bombers on Sunday night at Carlton. Puopolo. Spanger's been subbed.
We can get a bloke dropped in, can't we?
Well, he did mess up last time. Here's Hill in trouble. At close quarters to Crowley. Pierce did nicely. Hill miscues with a kick. It'll work out okay. Under the chest of Pavlich, who's about 35 metres out. Well, he's had a big night. Picked 4 in the 1999 draft. His first 2 AFL kicks were goals. Might get another one here. His most recent kick. Talking about him getting to 300. I think a lot of those games numbers with West Australian players for West Coast, well, for all players for West Coast and Fremantle, suppressed by the travel as he puts it through. Well, he's got enough lead.
He's been very good. He's actually, we're talking about Suckling kicking the ball across his body. He's got the textbook kicking action. Pavlich just runs in straight, nice ball drop. Just usually is a good converter, but a total textbook action, that one.
He's kicked a goal in every quarter.
Very good. He's looking in good shape.
He's had 1 goal in every quarter.
We missed the early part of last year with that Achilles tendon issue, so he looks in really good shape at this point of the season.
So the 2 coaches that took their teams to the grand final last year. Such a different night for both of them tonight. Of course, Hawthorn are on a 10-match winning streak after tonight. We talked about the 9 matches for Alistair Clarkson last week, how he got up there with Yabby and John Kennedy. The highest Hawthorn have ever got to, Lee, is 12 matches in a row. I mean, you would have thought they'd done more than that. We'll be on 10 tonight.
What year is that? What are you at? Which year?
I'll give that to you in a second. Hannah, the centre half forward. Den's just working it out. Subin, good handball forward. Crozier, yes. No,
has missed it.
It's a behind. Let me delve into my little record book. Den, can you help me there?
Not at the moment, Bruce.
Could have been a lot of eras. They had a lot of good eras the last 40 years.
That's probably there, though. I just don't remember. But I reckon Lee might have been involved. He might know the answer.
1961 and last year they got 12.
Okay, 61. So last year I definitely wasn't there in 61, I'll tell you that one.
You were alive last year.
Ball comes out from Duray. So 61, if my memory serves me correctly, was a premiership year.
It was, yeah, their first premiership.
They
61.
They beat the Bulldogs, didn't they?
Yes.
I think from memory. Boundary throw in.
Your team.
Steady. You've done that to me twice tonight.
How many teams?
I had no teams.
You trained with the Bulldogs, didn't you?
You had to be quick to notice. Here's Pearce. Spins out of trouble. Don't you laugh, Lee. Long down towards full forward. It's easy for blokes like you. Taken by Gibson. Still playing those minutes. Back to Burgoyne. Deep in the pocket. Drives it out of there. Muzungu will need to go, and he does. No. Spilt the mark. Bad luck for him. Over the top, Smith. Aggressively. And the ball just rolls out of bounds.
The number 29 duffel coat was just marching out of the West Oval, wasn't it, Jim?
These are cheap shots. That's what I think.
Take no notice, Dan.
I think you started it, didn't you?
I didn't want it to go in that direction. So Hill got it from Pearce. Bangs it for Sandiland. Yes. So long ball into the Giant. Doesn't have it for a long time, but we control it. Gee. Now doesn't want to give away anything, does he here? So the scoreboard ticking over for the Dockers in the second half. 3 goals in the third. And they're adding another in the last now. He gets his first tonight. In a strange match. I mean, Hawthorn sublime really for the first half. But it's been a long second half in many ways, hasn't it? I mean, the Dockers were nowhere to go, and you know, it's hard to sit on such a big lead when you've worked hard. You don't want to.
Yeah, I'd look at the best place to play, time to play footies in the big league tournament. You guys, I reckon it's really good fun.
We asked about the centre bounce, so most people want that centre bounce to keep going on,
absolutely.
but we don't see it around the ground. And tonight, the bounce in the centre's been, well, very good again. And every time I've sort of gone that way, they've done a good one. We had a few roughies early on.
I think umpire Farmer, by and large, is a very good bouncer. It probably differs from what it does, from umpy to umpy, doesn't it? Here's Suckling. Suckling goes long down towards full forward. Running back is Hill. Touches it through for behind.
It's an interesting topic. The bounce, we'll delve into it after the game, but
What are your initial thoughts?
I want to keep it. I'm a bit of a football romantic. I think there's it's one of the unique parts of the game, but
Moving on.
you really need to execute the skill well, and I think it's probably not being executed as well as it potentially could be.
Johnson to the outer side. That goes to Bohr. To Pearce in trouble. Coming hard is Bruce. He's taken down. Strong tackle by De Boer.
Just one of the problems is if you're not bouncing around the ground, the umpires aren't getting a whole lot of practice. So when they have got the pressure of the centre bounce, you know, maybe they're just not executing it as well. But I think you still do it. Great part of our game.
It's a really valid point too about not getting the practice. I'm sure they practice at training, but pressure situations out on the ground are a little bit different, aren't they? Because the whole world is watching you as you bounce it. Hanneth and Hale fell at their feet. Lewis feeds it outside the 50. Mitchell, Burgoyne, Smith looks goalward, creates his own space. Very high ball, bit of a miscue really. Rough head carried under the football by McFarlane, picked up by Bruce. And he was slung.
Throw it in.
Actually, got me reflecting now. You were asking me questions before about that run. My first coach, actually, my first league coach, played in that 61 grand final.
Who was that?
Bob Spargo, state player for Victoria, played for Footscray. Don't go on about the allegiance again, all right?
That's it. I won't mention it for the rest of the season. It's the last grand
now and again's okay.
That's the last grand final they played in, isn't it?
And they're making their comeback as a club tomorrow in the VFL. Footscray.
Yeah.
Good segue, Dan.
It's at Whitten Oval too, isn't it?
I'd have to check.
Langford from Bruce. Hale and Hanneth. Lewis back to Hill. Wanted to give it to Roughhead. Couldn't quite. Then Hill and Roughhead. Roughhead taps it back to Smith. Smith well done to Mitchell. Just another prolific night for the champ. To Birchall. Birchall, that distinctive style, sort of head down and then pinpoints it normally. Giray, good kick to Gibson. He's never kicked a goal for Hawthorn. He's just too far out of it. Get excited if he did that. And now Giray.
Watch Suckling on the mark here. He'll just, there you go, put the block on. They're just so well drilled.
And that's not a good kick. So coughed it up. And Mundy, a quiet first 3 quarters, but has collected a few late. But he's had a memorable night because of what happened pre-match.
Ball up towards the wing. Getting back there is Suckling. Oh, he's worked on that fumble of training, obviously, and just takes it across the line. No free kick against him. We'll have a boundary throw in. In fact, he's headed off the ground. It was convenient. Sandilands has anything but dominated this game. Taps that down, but again, Hawthorn in the right position. Shields gave it to Lewis, to Mitchell, back to Burgoyne, flicks it over the top. Rioli running to space now. It's taken by Smith. Nobody near him. Smith kicks long towards the pocket. Segler leads back in the race. Will the ball sit for him? No, it won't. But that's not a bad result, just around from the behind post.
So the Hawks, who kicked 6 goals to nothing in a hurry in that opening term, they set up a big lead and have just dominated the match. Johnson worried out of it in the end. Puopolo, he's so good in this combative situations, and that time not quite. But he's hit the board a couple of times tonight. You feel like he's always playing on the edge. He was a 66th draft pick. God, he's made the most of it, hasn't he? He really has. He's probably never a certainty come September, but he played in the grand final last year. Do you think Brad Sewell walked straight back into this team, guys? I mean, what a great player he's been, but is he definitely in their best 22? What do you think?
Oh, look, I think that he probably has to play a couple of games in the VFL before he comes in, Bruce. He's like we said at the start of the game, both Fremantle and Hawthorn got a lot of new players. They're very good sides. We think they'll both go deep into September. So although this game's dead and finished now, there's players out there that are playing for the rest of their years.
And I reckon Will Langford's one of those.
He's one of those.
The young Will Langford, as opposed to the veteran almost Brad Sewell, will be an interesting decision for Hawthorn as this season goes on, I suspect.
De Boer inside the forward 50. Giray goes back and takes the mark. They're pretty short in defence, and one guy who's out at the moment who could make a difference is Stratton.
And I think Schoenmakers is playing in the VFL this weekend, I believe.
So that's good news, isn't it? I mean, it just makes them stronger back there. Stratton gives them run, but he's tall and he can go with big guys. Not the biggest of them. He can play short and tall. Here's Bruce, meantime, running it down to half forward. Got some back up. Littleland, he was impressive last week. Sends it long down towards full forward. Crozier goes back and forces it behind.
Wayne, I've never understood the double fist score.
No, I don't like it, Tom. If you can get 2 fists to it, I think you should be able to go for the mark.
Yep.
Makes sense. So the Dockers, Sandilands the target. Hale and Cheney got up over the top. Suckling brought down. Did well. Suckling back to Cheney. Cheney again. Yes, this defence for Hawthorn's going to look different, isn't it, in the second half of the season? One man that will be there is Gibson, brought down there. Mzungu kicks to space. Hill's worked hard all night. Can he get away from Smith? A couple of racehorses there. Smith, Cheney, back to Smith. Sweeps a handball out wide. Gets to Suckling, gets to Simpkins, squares it to Litherland.
Hey, Bruce, you'll like this. That's a world record in disposals for Hawthorn ever.
They're most ever, is it?
Yeah, most ever in a game for the Hawthorn Footy Club.
So 463 it was, I think, Richo coming in. So, OK, they've broken it. OK, there you go.
What did Bob Cowper score on this ground?
Is it 307? Was it something like that?
They've eclipsed him.
And chasing 520 is the all-time record. That was St Kilda against Freo in round 23 last year.
Gee, well, it's been a night for all of that. Hill, a couple more disposals. Litherland can't quite get it away. Taps it back to Poppy.
Puopolo, confronted by Spur, kept his head, goes back to Rioli. A little too ambitious, gets a hand pass off though. Littleland a chance after it struck the boot of Hill, picked up by Segler. Rioli has run on. Dangerous stuff. Kicks inside the forward 50. Full-chested. Roughhead came at the football. Duray pushes it back. Roughhead is dragged down, though, by McFarlane. High tackle on Neal, and he'll get the free kick. Inside his own defensive 50. Plays on to Johnson. Less than 4 minutes remaining in this game that's been over a long way from home. Ballantyne wheels around, goes high to Hanneth. Drifting back, well judged. Doubling back is Pavlich. Can Pavlich get a shot at 5? Not with this kick. Goes in the opposite direction. Crowley. Gee, it's a good mark. Crowley coming up for his 16th possession. Outgunned by Mitchell right from the opening bounce. And then eventually moved off him. Not often. He touched on it earlier. Does he lower his colours in that situation in a negating role? But tonight he's eaten humble pie. But he's kept on working. Gets his first goal.
And he's always been able to do that, Crowley, kick a goal, hasn't he? I mean, that's been one of his assets, hasn't he? He's kicked a lot of goals.
He likes to get his opponent into the forward line quite often, and he's a competent goal kicker.
He's a good man to have on your team, isn't he? He really has been a terrific player. Admirable in so many ways. I mean, he rubs the opposition up the wrong way and the players. Wayne, what about your top 5 tonight? Looking forward to this.
Yeah, there's been so many good Hawthorn players, but Rioli, Hill, Gibson, Sam Mitchell second half has been unbelievable, and Pavlich kicking 4 goals, and most of those, only 16 or so possessions Pavlich, but 10 of those contested. He's been great.
Good stuff, and a couple of assists from Pavlich for goals as well. You know, he's certainly done his job, that's for sure. He likes the MCG. He's got a really good goal-kicking record here. I mean, he's plays well everywhere, but they don't play a heap of matches here, the Dockers, over the years, but he's got a super strike rate. 3 in the grand final last year. His all-time record, of course, 9 against the Blues.
79 goals in 29 games here at the MCG, Bruce.
That's a great strike rate, isn't it?
It is.
Is that before tonight, Den?
Including tonight.
Okay.
But he wasn't always a forward either. I mean, he spent some time, a season or 2 on the ball, didn't he?
Yeah, that's the extraordinary part of that statistic.
Ball is coming back, and it's going to be a free kick to the Dockers. Short one to Pearce. Sheridan runs on through midfield. Slips a hand pass away. Crozier. That's a nice handball. Johnson looks inside the forward 50. Timid kick, but it comes off. It bounces eventually to Duffield, who turns around and kicks his second. Situation there with Michael Johnson just second-guessing himself, but it came off. Obviously a hand pass might have been better, but kick smothered or half smothered, still found the Dockers. So they're running it out, the Dockers, but Hawthorn, when it counted, just outstanding and serving notice for the rest of the competition.
For sure. So 6 goals to the Dockers in the final term. I mean, talked about three-quarter time what they needed to do.
Well, that's what they needed. At least, I mean, the game was decided a long way out, but at least they've had a pretty good last quarter, which gives them a good impetus into their next contest.
And maybe another one before it's over. Lewis and Shields and Birchall. Kicks to full forward. Roughhead. A contest. Well played. Duffield. Bruce with him. Puopolo. It was high.
Ducked his head there, see? Are you serious? When he goes like that, that's called duck. Time it, cunt.
Tom, I reckon Lee Spur would have played against Popolo and Adelaide a bit. Central Districts and Norwood.
Yeah, been probably some pretty big games, I'd imagine, too.
So he's going for a 3rd goal tonight. And he's got it. It's a good return, isn't it?
It was interesting byplay between the players, but really to pick the ball up off the ground, you've got to duck your head, don't you? I don't think that's ducking the head. That is actually just bending down to pick the ball up. Quite different.
I don't think I've ever heard an umpire respond differently to the question, are you serious? Of course I'm serious. I've given the free kick. Isn't he a great poster for their recruiting strategy too, Puopolo?
So, Wayne, there's a reaction from the viewers at home, so pretty strong there.
He's one of those players, Cyril, that doesn't have to get a lot of the ball, but what he does is special.
Yeah, for sure.
Well done by Hanneth, down to Hill. Stephen Hill dragged down. Comes back towards Siegler to Roughhead. In the air, Lewis. That was awkward when he landed because there was a dock at Duffield waiting for him. It spills across to Smith, who kicks inside the forward 50. McFarlane knocks it down. Bradhill swoops. How about that? That is classic. Absolutely from the top shelf. His first goal. The pickup was better than the kick, and the kick was clever.
They've all had high numbers tonight, Hill, but that's his third at disposal. I doubt if he's ever got into that many at this point. Once before, maybe.
No, first time ever.
And he just looks like he's getting better and better. So for a very good team, it's a good sign that one of their players that's just been a bit of a bit part player is all of a sudden just imposing himself on the game more and more often.
His first halves last year were really good. He particularly first quarters, he came and jumped out of the gates, and he's obviously got another pre-season under his belt. He's got a natural endurance base within him, and he's just starting to run those games out, so he's a huge weapon for the Hawks.
I know Brad Hill really doesn't discuss last year's grand final with his brother. I would imagine tonight's game might be off limits too. What do you think?
Oh, gee.
He said they haven't spoken about it.
Is that
Just
really?
shook hands and left it at that.
Well, maybe in about 10 years' time they'll look back to him, but Brad's had another night out, hasn't he? First time he's got to 30.
That might be no-go territory forever, that particular discussion.
Like Wayne touched on before the game, you have to be filthy about losing a grand final, particularly the side you played against, so you wouldn't really expect it any other way.
And not fair when little brother's got it on big brother a couple of times. Right. So Lockie Newell, who was in that grand final match, that's a good-looking kick, but didn't quite get the line. Highest score ever against a Ross Lyon coach team, Lee, is you when you were coaching the Lions in 2008. 141 points. So that's when he was St Kilda. So this is the second highest score ever kicked against a Ross Lyon team. What was your last year, Lee?
That's been the last gasp.
Sheeny. Bit of memory lane tonight, Dene. Simpkin, well, what a night for the Hawks, eh? They unfurled the flag and they belted the opposition who they beat last year. They were brilliant.